Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I want to thank all of the members who spoke in the debate in the House on the Copyright Amendment Online Infringement Bill 2018. I want to particularly thank and acknowledge the member for Parramatta for her remarks, which of course draw on her deep lifetime experience as an artist, as an arts administrator and as an arts business person. She spoke with great authority about the importance of the measures contained in this bill, their importance for artists, for creatives and indeed for fans of Australian artists. And I have to admit that I enjoyed her gentle rebuke of her colleague, the member for Chifley, who disappointingly had earlier on mischaracterised this bill as being pro-rights holder and anti-consumer. That is simply not true, and it does stand in stark contrast to the remarks that we have just heard from the member for Parramatta and remarks that we earlier heard from the Shadow Attorney-General, who expressed his support and the support of the Labor Party for creatives and for rights holders. And I do want to acknowledge the support of the opposition for this important bill, which is an important step in modernising Australia's copyright laws. Mr Deputy Speaker, Australian films, TV shows, music are more accessible and cheaper than they have ever been. We can all enjoy this entertainment, this content, on a range of devices, at home, on the bus to work, travelling on holiday. Passage of this bill is about getting the legislative settings right so that those settings complement and support these very positive technology and business-led developments that we've seen in the sector. We can be very proud of the fact that Australia's creative industries are thriving and world-class. Their contribution to the cultural fabric of our nation is enormously significant. Their contribution to our economy is also significant. As the Minister has said, the Minister for Communications and the Arts has said, government support for the creative industries has been boosted in recent years, including through small business tax relief and our location incentive program. Our government will not tolerate the hard work of our creative industries, underpinned by targeted policy settings, being undone by allowing online piracy to go unaddressed. That's why this bill will update the website blocking scheme in the Copyright Act 1968, which, since 2015, has provided an effective means for copyright owners to address large-scale copyright infringement by overseas operators. I would also note for the record, Mr Deputy Speaker, that any criticism from the other side of the House concerning the Coalition's safe harbour reforms are unfounded. Those opposite did nothing for 6 years on this front, and it was our Liberal National Government which progressed reform in this area. Mr Deputy Speaker, the measures in this bill will strengthen our ability to fight online copyright infringement. As with previous copyright bills dealing with matters such as disability access and service providers, there has been broad consensus in this chamber to take action to positively reform Australia's copyright system. I would also like to express the thanks of the government and of the Minister to all of the stakeholders who were consulted on this bill and provided feedback. I commend this bill to the House.
I thank the honourable member. The question is that this bill be now read a second time. All of those of that opinion say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Copyright Act 1968 and for related purposes.
Is leave granted for the third reading to be moved immediately?
Leave is granted.
I thank the honourable member, and I'll call the honourable minister.
I move that this bill be now read a third time.
I'll put the question. All of those of that opinion say aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Clerk.
Third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Copyright Act 1968 and for related purposes.
Call the honourable minister.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I move that orders of the day number 3, 4 and 5 government business be postponed until a later hour of this day.
I'll put the question. All of those of that opinion say aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Clerk.
Government business, order of the day number 6, Corporations Amendment, strengthening